The first one is called Terra, and it is a table the legs of which are made according to earth-beating technology. That is, the designer Laia Amigo architecture of Encante's market in Barcelona is unbelievable. It's awesome. This is the most designer flea market I've ever seen. The roof, and of course a great development occurred in the 20s, when the Vkhutemas appeared in USSR, when the... Hello friends! Greetings from sunny but windy Barcelona. Today we are going to take a walk through the places, the showrooms and the activities of Barcelona Design Week. We'll see the most interesting exhibitions of the event, so sit down more comfortably and immediately put a like, because the sun, when it's almost late fall, is beautiful. I managed to stop by a few locations the day before. I was at Casa Seat. Seat is a Spanish car brand, but besides Seat they also have a Cupra brand. It's as designer as possible, and the showroom is also as designer as possible. There is a co-working center, restaurant and one of the exhibitions of the Design Week, which is called Human AI Design Challenge, whether artificial intelligence or humans will win in the end. First of all, the exposure is for 2 seconds, and secondly, artificial intelligence will not defeat us, because artificial intelligence is a tool in the capable hands of man, and in the hands of the unskilled, anything that it's not a tool, a hammer or artificial intelligence. I also stopped by the Nani Marquina showroom, which is probably the most designer Spanish brand that presents a collection of authors' rugs. They've worked a lot with the Burlek brothers, and the latest carpet was designed after Ronan's divorce. He divorced Evan, as you know, and also Jaime Ayon designs for them. I mean, he did it for him, but Nani Marquina is now producing these designs. By the way, we talked about Jaime creativity in detail when we were in Valencia and walked around the design capital of 2022. I also went to a very nice showroom called Kubania, and they represent a Danish brand of outdoor furniture. It is very optimistic and brazen, I would even say, to sell outdoor furniture from Denmark to Spain. But nevertheless, the guys have a very interesting approach. They collect plastic garbage, recycle it into special sticks and strips, which can be attached to metal frames and changed in various ways. Combine them by color and get unique solutions. It's quite an interesting idea in my opinion. And the space of showroom itself is very cool. Since we started our walk from the most poppy street of Rambla, we're going to go to the least poppy place on this street, which is Lason Gallery. It's not very easy to get in, because you have to go through the front door, go up to the second floor, and then you get there. It's very interesting that the guys have prepared several exhibitions and several projects, especially for Barcelona Design Week. The first one is called Terra, and it is a table the legs of which are made according to earth-beating technology. That is, the designer Laia Amigo collected local soil, sifted it, and then tamped in a special round molds and got impressive layered legs. The second project is also very interesting. It is dedicated to the greatest female designers. They selected 10 significant figures of women in design and asked contemporary women designers to make a kind of dedication to these personalities. A rug inspired by or dedicated to André Putman, a table named after Charlotte Perriand, and a very interesting armchair dedicated to Lily Reich. I remind you that this is a young lady who was involved in the creation of the Barcelona Pavilion and the famous Barcelona chair. She was part of the Miss Van der Rohe team. Ellen Gray gets a chaise-longue clearly made with some Spanish traditional techniques in mind. A very interesting project indeed. Another project is called Clops and Pots by Vincent Ors. It's little pieces of furniture made of wood. It's junk wood. He collects planks, cuts off all the excess, and then sands them and assembles puzzles into furniture, into little tables. It's pretty nice. a stunning light installation called Ecliptica. It's by Massimiliano Moro. It's some kind of light mobile. Another couple of projects from light designers. Round lamps made of marble, also a traditional material for Spain, and also various floor lamp bulbs from car headlights and turn signals. We've seen this before. You know the lamp by Achille Castiglione. Now it is in the Floss collection. And what is surprising, and I really liked it, are the works created with artificial intelligence. They uploaded a prompt with an author's description of classic design objects and got artificial intelligence opinion on how the, for example, Vasily chair could look like, or how Alvar Aalto stool could look like. And the most amazing thing is the famous cardboard stool by Frank Gehry, or rather AI opinion on what it should look like, and it's very interesting. Such collaborations and research show that in skilled hands, artificial intelligence can be a very good tool. And the last very interesting project is dynamic architecture. This is an architecture that changes during use. If you wanted, for example, a two-story house, but you only had enough for a one-story house, then you can make it movable. And if you want to be on the second floor, you don't have to go up there, but you can go up with the house. That is a kind of machine for living. Architecture of Encante's market in Barcelona is unbelievable. It's awesome. This is the most designer flea market I've ever seen. The roof is absolutely stunning, with fantastic architecture and such a wild contrast, in my opinion, between this very different junk and this rather remarkable architecture. But we didn't come here to admire this market. We came to the Design Museum, where the main events of Design Week are held. The main exhibition that takes place at the Barcelona Design Hub is Best Design 2023. The exhibition is divided into 3 sections, and winners are selected by an authoritative jury of the Association of the Development of Art and Design here in Spain. The participants, by the way, are not only Spanish. The first section of the exhibition is devoted to contemporary art, or if you like, collectible design. Here are objects that may well be decorations for a good interior, but at the same time they are art. They are not just interior items. The techniques are completely different for different artists from different countries. There is a young lady here, Nina Murashkina. She comes from Donetsk region, and is a British artist. There are many Spanish representatives. The materials are glass, wood, metal, textiles and ceramics. Where is Spain without ceramics? I really liked Plato with the virtual reality goggles. Now we also have philosophers in meta-universe. The second zone is devoted to architecture and interior design. It is clear that it is always difficult to present it at an exhibition, because it is either photos or models. The models, I must say, are quite interesting, made using different techniques. As for the projects, these are realized projects, so you can visit them. There are private projects, schools, a church in Ferrara that was relatively recently opened, and the screens show pictures of these realized projects. There are a lot of interesting things. I really liked the mobile garden, a cart that can be transported, brought to some square one or another, and improved in this way. The third zone is dedicated to communication and graphic design. Here are posters of various orientations, announcements, social media, and any promotional materials, including clothing, logos, and of course audiovisual content. This, you could say, is our native language. This is a very interesting area of packaging design. There are cookies boxes and labels for wine bottles, and it must be said that wine bottle labels are getting more and more creative these days. we're going to have as much feminist coverage as possible today, because here at the Museo de Design, at Barcelona's Design Hub, they are hosting the exhibition I'm Here, dedicated to women in design. It has to be said that women in design appeared relatively recently, at the turn of the 19th and 20th centuries. Before that, all artistic practices, including interior design and furniture design, were made exclusively by men. And of course, a great development occurred in the 20s, when the Vchutemas appeared in USSR, when the Bauhaus appeared in Germany. And the names of women sounded, because both there and there were quite a lot of them. And the heyday of the women's movement in design occurred during the era of modernism. Here we have an exposition of such really significant names, which we have already mentioned today. This is Lily Reich and Ellen Gray, and here's Aino Aalto, this is wife of Alvaro Aalto, and Charlotte Perriand. And of course we should also remember such a person in the field of design as Florence Knoll. And Charles wouldn't be that Charles if there was not Ray, I mean Eames. After the war, this movement had a definite development. Women fought for their rights and men apparently gave them to them. In 1958, there was a very significant exhibition in Zurich that was entirely devoted to works by women. And just here is the post-war exhibition. Here we have Gaia Valenti and Cini Bueri, with the wonderful chair that we have already seen in our reports from Milan, from the Fiam company, which she made entirely from a single piece of bent glass. This is Lina Bobardi and the chairs that she designed for her own building, the project of the Architectural Center in São Paulo. By the way, there's also the Museum of Contemporary Art in São Paulo, a very interesting structure, also by Lina Bobardi. Then we move on to the 80s. Here it is clear that women were already full participants in the design process. And if we're talking about women, we need to mention to women's stuff, which also has a design. Here in this hall there are items designed to meet the needs of women. They are about motherhood, sexuality, and all other women's things. The last room talks about the fact that women are the main part of design process of now. Here we see objects created by famous female designers of our present. For example, Patricia Urquiola. She is of Spanish origin, although she works in Italy, and mainly with Italian companies. Here is social design. In general, the theme of women's design and women in design is fully disclosed, and it is interesting. It should be said that a selection of objects is very good, and the density of exposition is so high. The Design Museum in Barcelona truly embodies the essence of design. Somehow it happens all the time that design museums are often in historical, traditional buildings. And here is a modern, cool building that was built for this purpose. There is also the Abbar Tower, the local cucumber, or if you want, the phallic symbol of the power of the Abbar company. The building was built by Jean Nouvel, somewhat reminiscent of the Foster cucumber in London, where the guys have more ambition and the building is correspondingly twice as tall. In addition to the exhibitions we looked at, there are several other small displays. First, an installation outside called Hanging on the String, which again draws attention to the theme of pollution. No matter how long the rope hangs, there will be an end at some point. So friends, don't bring that end any closer. A very peculiar little exhibition is called Dress the Naked Chair. They dressed them in whatever they wanted. I didn't see anything remarkable for me. Some things are contradictory, or I understand it's so because of my depravity, but nevertheless. I liked the location itself. The location is still undergoing renovations, but once they are complete, it will be truly beautiful. And we'll go and look for something else beautiful and walk through more interior showrooms. Today is a bit of downward spiral because it started off so great, such a great gallery, and the design museum was also good. And then it was a blizzard. Barcelona Design Week is not comparable to Paris or Milan, because the program is weak and the locations are not very good either. It is inconvenient because everything is so scattered around the city, and from one location to the next you have to walk for sometimes 15, 20 or maybe even half an hour. It's not like in Paris or Milan where you go from door to door. And the organization of some companies is also strange. I got to design studio that participates in the program, and they have an exposition to be held, but for some reason they decided to close an hour earlier, and the employees don't even know that they are participating in Design Week. So I don't recommend this company to anyone, because they just kicked me out. It's terrible. It's the first time it's happened. I went to a couple more showrooms. One does office furniture and assembles these amphitheaters out of cubes. It's pretty interesting, but I wouldn't say it's crazy. And the presentations and parties themselves are a bit weird, although these guys had a cool folding ping pong table, so it's great for hipster offices. And the last event is a premiere. There's the launch of a new collection with 3.5 items. Some amazing ideas about sustainable development, ecological materials and flat packs. It's all very cool, but it's a super modest presentation. Here, of course, champagne is not spilled in such volumes as in Milan. So friends, let's go to normal Design Week, okay? And the real Design Week we have here in Eindhoven, in the Netherlands, but you'll see that in the next episode, so give us some likes and write something nice. For example, as always, thank you Vladimir for telling us about Design Week. We will never go there. But I recommend you to go to the Interior Hotel exhibition. That's all for now. Don't forget to share this video, help us out and tell your friends. Bye!